This is your treatment for clarity. So much of clarity is a idea that we can have a correct perspective about what's happening to us, what may happen to us, what has happened to us. Clarity has a lot to do with our ability to see, not so much with our eyes, but with our inner sight. And if that's clear, then the idea is that we can move forward in life, in situations, in relationships, in our goals, in a way that will bring us success, fulfillment, happiness, joy, peace, security. So clarity is tied to so much more than just sight. It's deeply rooted in the sight of our best lives, the lives that we dreamed of as children, the lives that sometimes change a bit and that we dream of as adults. And hopefully you're still dreaming every day and holding your dreams tightly. Clarity comes with clearness of being. Without a clear mind, you can't really absorb what you hear, nor can you absorb the food you eat, because without a clear mind, your body doesn't quite function well. And so it's very important to work from both areas. We clarify our thoughts by simplifying what we digest in our surroundings, our conversations, what we expose ourselves to. We clarify our bodies by what we put in our mouths, what we drink. There's so much more to be said about that union and bringing that place of us into harmony and achieving this clear sight. So as we talk about clarity, I want to really establish a foundation in the idea that we can move through life clearly by continuing to choose the different paths that will enhance our lives, bring us fulfillment, and show us the way each and every step. I myself have this tendency to feel overwhelmed when things are going in a certain way, that I feel like I'm balancing a lot of dishes and spinning a lot of plates, and it seems that I can do that for only so long. And while those plates may be very valuable, at times it really behooves us to spin one plate really, really well. And it's that old saying that when you have the trees right in front of you, sometimes you miss the forest. And I say both. Sometimes you're staring at the forest and you miss the tree right in front of you. So the symbols that we use in life and these sayings create in us a way of honing in on what's really important. And that honing in has a lot to do with the sense that we are moving clearly through life and that we're seeing clearly our goals. We're seeing clearly what's happening to us. And when that happens, it's almost like we have this ability to look with awe with that which is before us. That in itself is true happiness. Some tools for clarity are deeply rooted in the mindful meditation area, where you can breathe and return to your breath and return to the present moment. And in so doing, although the mind, which is meant for thought and meant for so much action and activity, it continues to be active, but it sheds the clutter. And as it sheds the clutter, we feel lighter. And as we feel lighter, we feel clearer. So mindful meditation has a lot to do with focusing on one thing, and that one thing for most people is their breath. Our friend that we like to draw upon, Florence Scovel Shinn, makes a nice statement that I like to bring into my achieving of clarity, which says, man can only receive what he sees himself receiving. So there's that connection again between clarity, sight, and achieving the life you were meant to live. There's another author I'd love to share with you by the name of Madison Taylor. And there's a book called Daily Om, which is a phenomenal book. It's not a devotional in the sense that you would turn to the date and read that day, but you can randomly select pages, and in those pages you'll find jewels that you can utilize in your day-to-day happenings. There's a passage that I took from it that helps me with clarity quite often, and it's really a lesson on the hawk, and it's called Hawk Medicine. And the lesson that we can learn from the hawk is the power of perspective. And the power of perspective, again, goes back to that comment I made about the trees. On our path of life, the trees can serve sometimes to direct us if we allow it, or if we're in the wrong mindset, we can only see an obstacle. And the forest can be a place of breathing, of bathing, of worship, of peace, of serenity, or it can be a series of obstacles. So again, that's a choice. You can navigate through the forest and in so doing grow from it. You can let the trees direct you and in so find a better path. Or your perspective can be clouded. The hawk has the power to soar high above the earth, giving them a perspective previously only available to the inhabitants of the celestial sphere above. Because of this, people from various cultures throughout history have seen them as messengers of spirit, bringing wisdom from the heavens and the value of their higher vision down to earth. From their vantage point, riding on the wind and bathed in sunlight, they remind us today that there is a bigger picture to be seen. When we get bogged down with the details of what is right in front of us, hawks help us remember that we are part of a larger plan and everything fits together beautifully and perfectly. So again, we ask ourselves, what is clarity? Why is it important? The importance of clarity is a question we all must answer for ourselves. Life has so many interesting facets, so many opportunities to grow and transcend and to relate to one another, to build community, to build amazing experiences, to expand on a journey that can make this place better. We all must now reconsider and question all the successes that we are so proud of. The skyscrapers, the large chemical plants, and the atomic bomb, and all of these things which at the time we thought would bring us an improved situation. Clarity on a larger scale only comes from clarity of the individual. Einstein and all of our great minds look back and would agree that hindsight is 20/20. If they had to do it over again, there are things they would not do. All of us have these moments, so we must choose clarity as a constant mantra, as a constant goal, asking within ourselves, not only for clarity of each situation, but the clarity that brings true happiness. In closing, I'd like to share a suggestion from Florence Scovel Shinn, and I'll leave you with this. Infinite Spirit, open the way for the divine design of my life to manifest itself now. Let me see clearly the perfect plan. Release the genius in me now. Infinite Spirit, open the way for the divine design of my life to manifest itself now. Let me see clearly the perfect plan. Release the genius in me now. It's a wonderful saying to repeat. It's a wonderful treatment. It is something that has helped me tremendously, and I believe it will you too. The now word is key. Divine is key. Design is key, and clearly is key. These are words that should continue to be part of your vocabulary And in so doing, you will see clearly the perfect plan, and the genius in you will be released now. So like the hawk, let it remind us to consider a larger perspective, one that inspires us to travel through the world we inhabit with strength, certainty, and grace.